Welcome to our love segment dedicated to the heart of family life, parenting edition. We are covering everything from the magic of cutting out YouTube to repetitive book readings, keeping baby names secret, the blur of fast flying moments, and the dealing with kids who think they're all grown up. That is truth. Oh, those toddler tantrums over sippy cups versus bottles, plus sibling translations. Heartwarming and hilarious. We are going to dive in. But before I do that, I forgot to do this between we video file. Oh, people find it of this one. So our first one, we're going to start with, it's kind of a work relationship, but it's also a friend thing. How two different people, the giver and the receiver of a gift, can have a vastly different views.
Yes.
On that thing. So anyway, we'll watch this and we'll talk about it when we get it. All right, let's get it.
Legal bottle of vodka was given to you by me, and it was the biggest one I could find.
It's huge, yeah.
Huge. And what'd you do with that vodka? Did you drink it all?
No, I didn't drink any of it.
What'd you do with it?
I traded it for a laptop case that another wrestler had because I needed a case for my laptop. However,
use the gift that I gave him.
Yeah.
On his 21st birthday, I thought he would put it on a pedestal, like, wow, like Miz gave me this thing, and maybe sometime you're with all your buddies, you're hanging out, and he's like, hey, that vodka, that's huge. Should we open that up? Yeah, the Miz got it for me on my 21st birthday. It's great. Oh, cool. Let's open it up. That's the idea I thought would happen. Instead, it's like, hey, you were with all your buddies. You want to trade me that vodka for that laptop case?
You know what makes it even worse is the transaction took place immediately after you left the room.
Well, that's the thing, right? You got this guy who gives somebody a gift expecting one type of response, but let's say you give a bottle of vodka to somebody who doesn't drink.
Obviously, he wasn't interested.
Yeah, the bottle of
for whatever reason. Not interested.
Not interested in it. So
yeah,
so he swaps it out for something he could use, whether it's and to you as the gift giver, to have a right to be upset, because once you give the gift, it's no longer yours. You've surrendered your right to control that.
Does a gift have strings or not?
Yeah, if your gift is gonna have strings, you should at least.
Is that a gift?
Yeah,
then
it's hey, I want you to have this for you. I want you to save this for a time where your part. All right, maybe it's a request to use this gift at a specific time or under certain circumstances. This is what this is for.
Okay.
All right, that's one thing. But if you're just giving someone a general gift, it's now theirs. You no longer have any what they do with that gift, whether they drink it, pour it down the drain, or give it to their buddy because they don't drink. Right? Give it to somebody who's going to use it. Like every time somebody gives me like a bottle of wine, I just give it to somebody who's going to use it. Am I being rude? Or should I stack up a bunch of bottles of wine in the house that we're never going to use?
Dude.
Well, theoretically, not us, but
that would trigger me.
Yes, I know, but
I would constantly know that we have a stash of wine.
Yes, but okay, let's forget that you're the alcoholic for a moment. Just forget we just don't drink because we just don't drink.
All right, sorry.
Okay,
my bad.
No, it's all right. Just for the sake of argument, we're just people who just don't drink.
For whatever reason.
We just choose not to drink. We're not drinkers. We're allergic or something, right? Okay, and
well, that's an alcoholic.
Well, a regular allergy, knucklehead. So anyway, we've lost the plot of the conversation here.
Sorry.
But should we just store? I mean, if we were just non-drinkers, should we just store all the wine that people give you? Just put it in the closet until, I don't know, we die and it gets gifted to our, and in my case, gets gifted to my offspring, who none of them drink wine anyway. So how long is that stuff going to sit there? What are we supposed to do with it? At some point, aren't you allowed to do something practical with it? So I don't know. It's just an interesting question. Is how you have two different responses to a gift. You could appreciate the thought, but not have a need for the actual gift itself.
Well, if I know someone likes wines, then why wouldn't you
Yeah. Just
give
it.
them something
Yeah.
that you have no interest in and they would enjoy?
Yeah. Hey, someone gave me this. I don't drink. Here you go. And knock yourself out. Yeah.
And people thank you, don't they?
Yeah. But are you being rude to the original giver? I guess is the question. Interesting question. It's something for us to ponder as we go through life.
Well, if they gave you wine again, I think I'd tell them, I don't drink.
Well, people know, but it is what it is. All right, let's get started. What do we got first?
Well, this is a parenting win.
Mm-hmm.
A huge difference in my kids since I got rid of YouTube. And the child's like 4.
Okay.
And YouTube, it was just too much. It got fixated on it and finally weaned him off of it. And his temperament is more even now, she says.
Well, okay. I'm not going to disagree with the thing because, each individual child is an individual child. So I have no idea how some child will react to YouTube and others will not.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't make any kind of judgment. But if the child is now 4, and so you started this process at 3.5, but the difference between a 3.5 and a 4-year-old is vast. That's when their temperament is mellowing out anyway. They're coming out of the terrible 2s at about 3.5.
Yeah. Sorry to let you know that out there.
But I also don't want to sit there and tell them that it's not, any active parenting will generally have better results than non-active parenting. So if what has really happened here is she has gone from a passive parenting to a more active parenting method, then it's whether it's YouTube or anything else, that's what you're going to have a positive. You're most likely going to have a positive result from that. Mm-hmm. So congratulations. Whether it's YouTube or whether it's just because you've taken a more active role.
She puts them on more educational, now. They do educational things on.
I hate to break this to you. Early education produces long-term harm. So all these times when we're thinking that we're helping our children in the long term with this early forced education produces anxiety-ridden children when they get older. This has clearly been done studies are clear on this. So when we actually hyper-focus on educating them early, we're not helping.
Learning animal sounds?
It's focused education. They need to be learned to. This is the time for unfocused education. So when they're just saying. So whenever time someone says we now focus on the only have educational entertainment, my alarm bells go off.
No,
because
she didn't say that.
So my alarm bells go off when this is because it's now you've gone to 2 different extremes. You haven't actually solved the problem. You've just created a different one.
Well, there's Disney Plus in there and some Netflix.
I have no problem with a high if she is being more attentive.
She's just limiting, and she noticed specifically some things on Facebook that it was hard to regulate and everything. So she just took them off of that.
I have no problems if what we're talking about is she's being more, active in her parenting. There's not a complaint, but I do have a problem when people says they're getting all their education, all of their entertainment is education based. You've lost the plot. You've gone from one extreme to the other. And
well, you have to sprinkle in some sensory play, going outside.
But you have to sprinkle in just letting them be. Not everything has, most lessons, most of the lessons we learned as children growing up, we learned on our own.
Because my mom was at work.
Well, but that's the thing. This hyper education of our children is actually hurting them. It's psychologically hurting them. We are people of our generation, despite the fact that our parents ignored us, abandoned us, all those various things that people claim it. We are much more psychologically healthy than the children who have been overraised by their parents these last couple generations. We are much more psychologically healthy, much more resilient. We just are. It's because our kids have been highly regulated to the point where they can no longer make decisions on their own. Any decision they have to make on their own becomes an anxiety-ridden thing. So I know about anxiety, and it shouldn't be 40% of the population has an anxiety disorder. That's been caused.
Well, I wasn't aware of those studies.
So,
and
again, it's.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to be a thing of contention.
No, there's no contention. It's just
or controversy, or just I didn't think we'd get this much discussion out of just a quick win. I thought it was just going to be a quick win.
Well, if it is a win, I'm just saying it may not necessarily be the win she thinks it is. Anytime more active parenting is better than not, right? To a point.
Uh-huh.
And what she's viewing as a win could very well be just natural maturity as well.
Okay.
I don't want to necessarily throw cold water on her, but at the same time, you're talking about a kid who's going from 3 to 4. Yeah, that's when they start, that's when their emotions are able to control their emotions more, just kind of by its nature. So, but I'm also not disagreeing that some kids cannot handle the stimulation of YouTube, right? It goes too fast. And so I'm not going to deny her success either. So I'm just wanting to lay out the full breadth of potentials here.
That's true.
And to be very careful.
You did.
And to be very careful when you go on to, when you go on, early education can be harmful to children. So be careful when you don't go too far with it. Is not saying don't do it at all, saying don't go too far with it.
Okay.
Leave plenty of time for openness, for them to have nothing.
Free play.
Nothing. Don't even call it free play. Just for them to do whatever it is they choose to do. To do nothing if it's nothing. Kick rocks if they want to kick rocks. Whatever it happens to be. A lot of times we've become a culture of over-regulating our children.
Structuring.
Over-structuring, over-regulating, over-whatevering, over-scheduling. We've gone way over. So it's time to let them be kids. All right.
My son reads the same books over and over again. He's 10.
Don't worry about it.
They're the ones like the Captain Underpants and stuff like that.
Don't worry about it.
Adventure. Boy adventure.
Yeah. If you're really worried about it, you find them. It's never easier. You do a nice little Google search, AI search, whatever it is, of books that are like that, and give them an opportunity to find other authors, teach them how to explore, similar ideas, but other authors.
And that's a good skill to have, is to teach them how to do that.
But this is by definition not a problem.
No. He's reading. This is that I let me tell you something. I was turned on to All Creatures Great and Small when I was about, I think, 13. And I have been reading them, the whole series, over and over again all my life. I'm 64. Okay. Some pieces of literature you just fall in love with, and I remember doing the same thing over the collection of Sherlock Holmes, just falling in love with literature. And he's learning how to do that. That's a real gift.
Yeah, this is one of this. It's by definition not a problem. You give him
Yeah.
opportunities to expand his collection, but don't force it because that'll end up ruining the thing. So let it be is my suggestion. All right.
Not sharing baby name this time.
Okay.
Last time, everybody and his brother had an opinion,
Yeah. Of course they are.
and they've already picked a name, but they're not sharing with anyone. And the
Sure.
grandparents are a little bit upset.
Okay. But all you're doing is putting off the comments. You're not actually stopping them. So you're just delaying them a while. But it's perfectly fine. I got no problems with it. It's nobody else's business. But
I know someone who did that.
Is everybody going to have their opinion? Yeah, of course they are, because everybody has opinions.
Yeah.
Opinions are like the other ends. Everybody has one. Most of them are terrible. So it is what it is. Okay.
All right.
I got no problem with it. Grandma can kick rocks until it's time. But
I know, but, I am of the believer of the school of thought that, especially as a parent, you get to choose how this is supposed to gonna roll.
yes. But also, let's say if you pick a name that no one can freaking pronounce, or that is, then you're gonna have to expect some pushback regardless of when you tell people.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Okay.
But you acknowledge that going in. But I have no problems. Yeah, don't share the baby name. You don't owe anybody nothing.
Yeah.
So all right.
Parenting feels like constantly trying to enjoy moments that are flying by too fast.
Yes, because by definition, moments go by fast.
Mm-hmm.
A moment is that. And yeah, they do fly by too fast. 1 minute they're 7, next minute they're 16, next minute they're 25. You're going, well, when the heck did I get old? And yeah. The trick is to just enjoy the moments. Because you're worrying about, the moments flying by too fast prevents you from enjoying the moment that you're in. Yes, the moment is going to be gone. Your little baby is going to be an adult before you know it. And a lot of that ride will happen not necessarily behind your back, but out of your vision. And that's okay. You enjoy those moments as they come. In the same way the moments that are not so enjoyable, you let them pass. It's the same thing. They all become part of the tapestry of your history and of your child's history. And, there'll be times in your life where you will get to sit down and reflect upon those. But, you'll have a better time to reflect if you just allow them to exist. Don't worry so much that they're flying by too fast, because yes, they are.
That's kind of why you're taking the time to enjoy the moment, because they do fly by so fast.
I was watching a podcast yesterday, and the guy is interviewing. He says, what's the one thing? I forget what the question was, but his answer. Oh, he says, what's the one thing you're jealous of?
Uh-huh.
And he says, people that still have children in the house.
Uh-huh.
The guy, he's in his 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he says, people who still have children in the house. And that's someone who didn't take the time to enjoy those moments as they happened. For whatever reason, I didn't take enough time to enjoy the moments. It's very human. There's no throwing stones, right?
I'm guilty of it as well.
Right? There is no throwing stones
No.
on not not taking the time to enjoy the moments. But stop worrying about the fact that they're flying by too fast, because you're going to miss them if you do. So just try to be as present as possible. It's all you can actually do. That's it. There's nothing else you can actually do. I can sit here and pontificate for another 20 minutes, but realistically, there's nothing you can do, because that time is going to be fleeting. So all you can do is be there to experience it. Let that experience become what it's going to become. All right, what's next?
Dealing with an 11-year-old that wants independence way too badly.
Yeah. Every 11-year-old should want independence.
You know,
way too
she
badly.
wants to dress like a teenager,
Yeah.
you know, with the mod outfits and stuff.
That's perfectly normal. All that is you're dealing with stuff that's perfectly normal.
She's got lip gloss, but she wants eyeshadow. Her mom's not caving on that.
And whatever whatever limits, rules, whatever you want to put on these are perfectly right. You can put whatever rules and limits you want. Whether it's perfectly fine. You're too young for makeup, I have no problems with it. Other parents will say, let them experiment. I'm perfectly fine with that too. It's just as long as it's a conscious decision as part of your overall plan, parenting plan, right? As long as you got a plan to get through this, you'll be fine. Just don't try to wing it, because winging it will bring inconsistency, and what they need right now is consistency. So whatever your plan is, do not deviate. So if your plan is she's too young to try to dress like that, she's too young to try makeup, she's right, that kind of stuff, fine, stick with it. Now, maybe you're going to want to moderate the dates. Right? Maybe you thought 15, you're going to want to end it going down to 14 or something like that. You may have to do those kind of things.
Yeah.
You may have to modify the plan, but the details, do not change the details. Do not
cave once.
No, because
You're dead in the water.
Well, it's because you're sending mixed signals then.
Yeah. You send mixed signals, man, they will see that as a weakness, and they will
They're not
tap on
They're not
that.
seeing it as a weakness. They no longer know. Because you can change your mind tomorrow. So they're going to ask you tomorrow. If you know you're not going to change your mind, then they're not going to ask you again tomorrow. They're going to ask you in a different way. They're going to set up different circumstances. They're going to do all kinds of things. And it's not because they're as a weakness. It's just they're trying to figure out the parameters in which they can operate. They're trying it out. They're experimenting. Of course they are. Okay, mom's sometimes serious, but sometimes she's not. So when's the conditions that she's serious and when's the conditions that she's not? They're going to try to find out, because you're being inconsistent. Or dad, doesn't matter. Who's ever being inconsistent. So the trick is to be consistent.
Okay.
Be consistently terrible for all I care. Just be consistent. All right. Hold on just a sec.
Oh, we got some noise going on outside.
Yeah, well, the only reason it's my mother's car.
Okay.
Not mine. So, okay.
2-year-old refuses sippy cups. She wants the bottle.
This is a difficult one, because I had a sister who had used a bottle way too long. We're talking dropping them off at kindergarten. She chucks a bottle under the seat so the kindergartners don't see. This goes back. It's the same answer. Once you feel, as long as it's no longer a physical problem, right? They have the hand-eye coordination to be able to move to the sippy cup, then it's your duty to enforce it. Because they will stick because the bottle is soothing in more of the ways than just nutrition.
You know what? How they got me to give them up?
Huh.
They said there were some poor babies who couldn't afford bottles, and they needed the bottles. Baby need bottles.
No, I always just told my
They
kids
need
no.
your bottles. So I gave my bottles.
God, I guess
up
I
to
was
the
just a
baby.
brutal parent because I just told them no. It's time to go to the. I remember I was just a brutal parent apparently because I was not going to soften this kind of thing. No, it's just time. But I didn't have any specific time. When it was time, right?
Mhm.
I didn't have a schedule. It was just no, you don't need a bottle anymore. You're not using it anymore. And that was it.
Mhm.
They had to accept it, or they were being thirsty, and they'll only let themselves get so thirsty. So that's a problem that solves itself. Hey man, self-preservation will kick in, and they will get their sippy cup and start drinking. So accept that's how life is, and we all move on happily ever after. I never understood why everybody had all these fights, their children all the time. I never did get it, but now I do. Now I understand.
They pitch fits.
Who? My kids?
No, the kids do in general pitch fits.
Oh, my kids didn't dare. Not over this kind of stuff. Yeah. You want a bad day, pitch a fit over something silly. Yeah. I'll give you something to pitch a fit about. All right. All right. So what is next?
Older siblings translating for younger ones. 5-year-old translates for the 2-year-old.
Yes, because they can still remember what they were saying.
They still remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still remember their sounds and what they were trying to do. So assuming that the children's sound patterns are progressing relatively similarly,
Yeah.
and they probably are because they're in the same family,
Yes.
then yeah, they can generally understand each other. Makes been happening for, I don't know, the beginning of humanity, I would assume.
But is it damaging?
Damaging to who?
To be responsible for that translating. And shouldn't she be telling me what she's saying?
She's trying to tell you.
Explaining it.
Well, she's trying to, but you can't understand her because she's talking in 2-year-old. And your 5-year-old can still understand the 2-year-old. So, no, this is just how families work. Stop overthinking things, for the love of God. This is just how families have worked since the beginning of families. I mean, this is behavior that is so, I don't know, institutionalized. It's probably humanized, right? It's probably in our DNA at this point. So, yes, this is what they do. And just let children be children. Stop overthinking everything. Not everything has dire consequences. Some things just are. Right? It's not a huge responsibility. It's only going to last another year at best. So, and for the most part, it's fun for them, right? They get to feel like they have an important role in the family. I get to interpret for this little brat. And let them play their role in the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big brother, big sister thing to do.
Yeah, and brings them closer together.
It does. Let them do it.
Yeah. Stop overthinking it. And that's it, a wrap on love. Parenting sure keeps us on our toes. If these stories resonated, drop your own in the comments. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Have a good night. And please remember to love everybody.
Good night.